We are live on a Monday morning. Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
Even though by the time you're listening to this, it will no longer be Memorial Day.
No, 2 weeks late, you'll be able to think back to what you did that weekend.
Here on the Daily 3, we write it down and make it happen. So what were your Daily 3 from yesterday and how did they go?
Yeah, so good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Yesterday was a rest day.
Nice.
So my Daily 3 yesterday were to I don't think I wrote it down, so I don't think but I think I still made it happen.
That takes skill. Do not attempt that at home, folks.
Don't leave that to the professionals here. One of them was to read Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Another one was to organize my room while I watched or just did put on some music or
That's right.
put a video on or something or organize my hard drive. I did not do either of those, which was okay. I took a nap. I took 2 naps yesterday, I think.
Nice. Double dipping.
Yeah, and the third one was to meet up with my executive assistant, but I rescheduled that because I made an intentional decision. I think all decisions are intentional, so that's redundant. I made a decision to make yesterday just completely a day of rest. So, and it was good. I did not, when I kept on taking those naps,
Yeah.
I just would like wake up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Just so.
How long the naps did you take?
What?
How long were your naps?
I don't know. I think like a good hour each or so.
Oh, dang.
At least, yeah. Or else sometimes I just kind of I think one of those naps went into a nap where I was just like reading Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go sleep now. So,
yeah.
So it was good. It was good. How about you? How was, what were your Daily 3 and how they do?
It went well. I had, the first one was to download and organize footage. Actually, that was my third one, but I did it first yesterday, probably because it was just pretty quick and easy to do. And then the other one was to make a material list and go to the store. And I did that. So I finished off my material list, went to Menards, got some stuff. I'm pretty good. I jacked up my elbow again, moving sheetrock.
You jacked up your elbow again?
Yeah, loading it into the truck. So that was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that.
The same elbow?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So that wasn't fun yesterday because that hurt for a while. And then basically after that, I just tried to use my right arm for everything.
Oh my gosh.
So that was like a little frustrating, but I got that one done. Then the other one was to finish under the stairs. I did not make that happen.
All right.
So I started some of the electrical and decided.
You failed.
Yeah. Like halfway through, or not halfway, but like a little bit into it, I'm like, I should, like the way I'm wearing this is like a little confusing in terms of like someone who doesn't know electrical. So I'm like, I'll shoot a video for it.
Nice.
So I started doing that. And I think that took a lot of time because electrical just takes a while when you're trying to like position a camera and stuff. And
and it's a small space.
Yeah, I'm under the stairs. So it's like, this is a little difficult to like move around, get tools, get materials, go back and forth. And then it's like, I have to move the tripod and the camera every time in order to get in and out. And then lighting down there too. I mean, I'm wearing in lights, which is what I'm filming. But so I've got to figure out how to do that down there for the camera. And I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where.
I'm glad you did it though. I mean, it sounds like you made a decision to film it to help people.
I think I am too, but I'm kind of like rethinking that decision now because I go, I should have maybe sat down a little more and planned and really thought through like what is the best way to teach someone how to wire this lighting setup on a switch. So,
question: did you have a shot list before you started filming?
I did not have a shot list. I just started winging it.
Whoa!
I basically just knew the
process.
Don't
try this at home, folks.
Yeah, and so it might be a little confusing. There's a couple different ways I can edit it though. That might make it more clear.
What difference would it have made if you took 20 minutes? Like if you had taken 20 minutes to create a shot list yesterday before.
I have no idea. It'd probably make it more clear if anything.
Okay.
Because I would have been able to think through more. How do I show this to somebody?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I have no clue either, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Get your thoughts on it.
That was my daily 3 for yesterday. A couple things I learned. I also did my weekly review. And so one of the things I realized, it was actually kind of funny because throughout last week, we were talking a little bit about burnout and how we're getting more tired and how we kept putting off rest.
Yeah.
And there came this point where we realized we just need to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at all of the time I tracked, I think I tracked like 106 hours in Toggle this week, 105, 106. 69 of those hours were work hours.
Okay.
So I had a 69-hour work week.
It's a long work week.
It was, but one of the things I noticed was on Wednesday,
Mhm.
it started out at like, I think I had like 15 hours that day or so. And then it progressively went down from there. So it was like,
Oh, interesting.
it was like 16 and then it was like 14, 14 and a half, then like a 12, then like a 5.
Huh.
And I just realized like, oh, that was about the time where I remember when we were recording those episodes, I was talking about like, I just have had a hard time like focusing and
Yeah.
not like, and where we talked about like making the decision to intentionally rest would be smarter at this point because otherwise I just like veg out and waste it on things that aren't actually restful. And so it was interesting that I saw that pattern in Toggle of my week and I was like, yeah, I gotta.
Data is beautiful.
It is. And it was really insightful because if I hadn't have tracked all of this and then like looked at that graph, I would not have known that or seen that. So there's just like another data point of saying, hey, intentionally choosing to rest is important and helpful because all those days were days I was trying to work like full long days.
Right.
But
Right.
it just sort of naturally, as I got more burnt out through the week, trended downward.
Oh, wow.
And that was observable. So that was kind of interesting.
That's really cool though that you could observe it through your it encourages me to keep track of Toggle on Toggle and things like that too for me because I always forget. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anything else you learned?
I think that was the big takeaway from looking at that.
Cool.
Yeah, one thing I think so yesterday there was a point where I quit working and decided to rest. I was kind of planning on doing that. And that was in the afternoon. And then when my wife got home after that, but ended up getting sucked into this crazy Netflix documentary that some of our other roommates were watching.
I completely forgot that we watched that yesterday.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was messed up. Some like
it was like the pizza bomber story.
It was nuts.
It was this crazy lady.
Yeah, who like orchestrated this like robbery of a bank and like
it was just so weird
people, and it was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, man, the story sucked me in out. So there went like 3 hours of my night, and I'm like, I don't know. Like looking back, I'm like, I don't know if that was actually restful or not. I'm kind of like not sure about that one.
Yeah,
because it wasn't what I was intending to do. Because it was like, okay, my wife and I were making dinner in the kitchen, and then it's like we overheard this on the TV in the living room, and it was kind of like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And sort of the thrill of the story, because there's just all sorts of twists and turns.
Because it began with just like 2 people.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, there were like 9 characters that were all involved in this whole thing.
Yeah, it was like 7 or 8 or 9 people that just all connected to this, and I mean, it was
good storytelling.
It was really good storytelling, and it was good to just like kind of look at that. Like one of the things I was paying attention to is how they were filming it. So in trying to figure out like what kind of film shots are unique to the genre of documentary, or how does documentary use certain camera angles. So part of it was like kind of interesting from that standpoint, but the story was also really, really interesting. But then I also
So
have
you could
to.
immediately put it into immediately take that knowledge that you learned and put it
Yeah.
into your actions of good job.
Not quite,
Oh, okay.
because it's a
Okay.
documentary, right? So it's a different genre.
Then
And I'm not shooting documentaries. But
gotcha.
if I were, it might be. I mean, it's still, I think, helpful to learn and understand like what
Isn't
are the
what you're doing
characteristics of different
documenting
engineers.
things?
Yeah, it's documenting, but it's not documentary, right?
Okay.
Documentary is a genre.
Oh, okay.
This is
Okay.
more of a how-to
Oh,
educational,
okay.
right?
Okay, that's
So
the
it's like
difference of the genre. Gotcha. That makes sense to me. I was confused about that.
instruction. Yeah, instruction and education is usually different than documentary.
I think it'd be really cool if one of the episodes, when you release it on YouTube for your how to remodel,
Mm-hmm.
is if you did one of the episodes in the style of a documentary film. So like you made it like a documentary how to, not like how to make a documentary, but like
Yeah.
if you just took that style and applied it, people would be like,
What?
what is going on?
Or even if I shot it like the style of The Office,
Oh, sure.
and
Yes.
there's no other characters, but if I treated each material or part of the process like a character,
Oh, you could be
like
just you in a chair with that
the
material.
sheetrock,
Yeah.
you know, today was just, I don't know what its deal was.
That's funny. So what are your daily 3 for today?
Yeah, today my daily three are to finish up my weekly review.
Freudian slip. He still wants to be resting and free.
My daily free. I just want freedom. Yeah, so my weekly review, sort of just to figure out and bring clarity to my goals, my daily three. So I sort of have like a step down from my quarterly and annual goals to go, okay, what needs to happen each day this week to sort of get me to that. So doing that weekly reviewing, which is reviewing last week, finishing up, looking at how that went, seeing if there's any other things like that I can learn or observe or see from sort of the data I tracked and different things on how I use my time and different things like that. And then also planning out this next week a little bit. And then Tuesday, finish under the stairs, get that drywall ready. So I got to finish up the electrical and do some insulating down there. And then the other one was to make a income tracking spreadsheet in our budgeting system.
Nice.
And I did that this morning.
Hey, good job.
Yeah. So I'm sort of starting to get to the point where there's our income is complicated. It's not just like, oh, here's your paycheck and you can expect that. So it's like, oh, I should actually have a better system for tracking this stuff rather than just like, I don't know where all this is coming from or what it's from or why, or
That's really smart.
stuff like that, right? Because some income you can depend on. Some of it might be like more miscellaneous or one time, or it's like, oh, I had that one really big job or freelance project I did that month. That's why I made so much, but I can't expect that on a consistent basis. And so just sort of being able to have that is a way to record data so I can make better decisions about what to do and how to steward money. So,
Nice. That's good.
but yeah, so I finished out this morning. So that one's already done, which is good. How about for you? What are today's daily three?
One is to do my weekly review. Just look back at the week, kind of climb up the tree to the 1,000 foot, or climb up the air balloon to the 20,000 foot, 10,000. I don't think air balloons go that high.
We'll look over the forest.
Yeah, look over the forest, see if I'm still headed in the right direction. So one is to do that. The other one is to Monday is usually my personal development day.
That's right.
So it's to read a coaching book today that I have. So just to sit down, spend 3 hours and just read that and then make some notes on it. And the third one is to email some guys for coaching. So email some people that I've done some, but yeah, so forgot to do it. So those are my daily three.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm really I was listening to, it was interesting. Do you remember that podcast that we've been listening to, The Road Back to You? Or I've been listening to it, not you.
Yeah.
It's about the Enneagram. So I went on their site. I took their test. They said I was a 3. So I don't know who I am.
I think as many times as you take the test, that is as many numbers as you will test as.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you take the test one time, you'll test his one number. If you take the test 2 times, you'll test his 2 different numbers. If you take the test 3 times, you'll test his 3. You see where this is going?
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get to all 9. I know. So
I hope to test is all 9.
So I don't know. So that was interesting, but I think that I don't know. I don't care either, partially.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there was an episode I was listening to though when they were interviewing Michael Hyatt, and it was really interesting to hear him talk about.
Because he's a 3, correct?
He is a 3. It was interesting to hear him talk about, and that's why I think like that probably just influenced my test after listening to that.
Sure.
But it was interesting to hear him talk about his daily 3, like what he chooses to do and what he chooses to spend his time on.
Huh? What did you learn from that, or like hearing that conversation?
He is very intentional, kind of what we've been talking about, where he doesn't try to do more than 3 things a day. He tries, or like at least like he tries to just the top 3 things that he tries to do are just only those things that fit into his goals.
Yeah.
And he's very strict about that, and he's had to learn that over years.
Sure.
But
I'm sure a lot of trial and error as well. Just figuring out what doesn't work and what works, and
yeah, and that was interesting. And I guess he has the people when people come on his team or join his business, he has them take the strengths finders.
Yeah.
And he also has them take the Enneagram to try to figure out, because he's learned the value of playing to people's strengths.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
He realized that if he just has a team full of 3s, it's not very fun. So
yeah.
That was interesting. But yeah, so I'm just going to be reflecting on that as I do my weekly review. So, yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
any other thoughts before we go make it happen?
Enjoy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Working.
Yep. You too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I realized it was Memorial Day when I checked my calendar this morning. Otherwise, I kind of forgot about it, even though we talked about it on yesterday's episode.
When does your wife get home? We could just grill
8.
tonight to try to.
She gets home at 8.
Okay.
8 p.m. if she gets off on time.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, it's later. Because sometimes at the end of a shift, when you work in a hospital, you can't just leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
But.
All right. Well.
There it is. Write it down.
Make it happen.
Take a nap.
Dear refuge of my weary soul, on thee when sorrows rise, on thee when waves of trouble roll.